So for the synopsis of this movie is May Holland seizes the opportunity of a lifetime when she lands a job with the world's most powerful technology and social media company. Encouraged by the company's founder, May joins a groundbreaking experiment that pushed the boundaries of privacy, ethics, and personal freedom. Her participation in the experiment and every decision she makes soon start to affect the life and future of her friends, family, and that of humanity. For the first scene, it is where May Holland becomes too excited and suddenly screams loudly in her office. The theory in this scene is behavioral science theory, where May Holland unable to control her emotion and behave properly. Behavioral science theory combines elements of psychology, sociology, and anthropology to provide a scientific basis for understanding employee behavior. This theory examines why employees are motivated by specific factors such as social needs, conflicts, and self actualization. The effect of this sin can lead to dissatisfaction among others in the company. The recommendation for these scenes is Maholland should be able to control her emotion and behave appropriately in whatever situation. These scenes show where the interviewer, which is Dan, asking about the information or knowledge about the company to the May. The theory in these scenes is fatigue communication, where Dan asking to the May as he wanted to test May how much she knows about the company. Fatigue communication means communication which serves to establish or maintain social relationship rather than to impart information. Fatigue communication also has other terms which is small talk. The effect by these scenes is to reflect first impression of the work carried out by the employees so that it will be a great start to make me feel confidence and comfy. The recommendation for these scenes is they should know that a good communication is about understanding instruction, acquiring new skills, making requests, asking questions, and relaying information with ease. Next scenes where Dan is being unprofessional when he asks May if she would like to go out with him. The theory in this scene is fear-based workplace, which during the interview he asked May like that. Fear-based workplace is the feeling of fear or anxiety, normally a result of harassment or physical violence, but often falls into perceived psychological tree camp. It is usually a result of culture, uncertainty, and feelings of isolation. The effect of this sin may seen as encourage unethical behavior and negatively impact to relationship well-being. The recommendation for these sins is respecting other people's personal space and also being a good professional interviewer is needed.
The next scene shows May has a strong attitude and good personality. In this scene, it shows the theory of Ross and Lewison Polytonic theory, which is the center of the notion of polytonous construction as people already see and affront to a person's self-esteem of effectively claiming positive social value in social interaction. We can see in this scene May very confident and has a good attitude during the interview. She answered the question politely and managed to give a good response to every question, even though she did not sure about the answer of the some question. She kept a good facial expression by smiling to the interview. She also nicely refused the offer from Dan when Dan asked her about would you like to go out with me? And then May respond with sorry it's not appropriate. The effect that we can get from this scene is it can encourage individuals to look at the brighter side of life, help to improve the weakness, and we will look good and presentable. So my recommendation is we need to be polite to their employers, college, and client as it reflects their characters and moral attributes as an individual. The next scene is where Matt Holland tries to convince how to improve the circle system to Emmon Bailey. The theory in this field is contingency management theories, which is organizational theories that claim that there is no best way to organize a corporation, to lead a company, or to make a decision. Instead, the optimal course of action is contingent, dependent on the internal and external situation. It showed when Hollers was give her opinion about how to improve the circle system in meeting, which is she speak out to entitle every citizen to have a circles account in voting and oblige the public to use their service. Although his intervention was kicked out and avoided by many people in the meeting room, she still confident and still expressed her opinion. From here, we can know the effect from this scene can show professional behavior as well as may be professional in the meeting room, and it also encourages the self-confidence. So my recommendation is we must trust ourselves and trying to improve it to become more better in the future. Speaking your opinion openly make you appear more confident, and that effect actually increase depending on the degree of controversy associated with the opinion. Next is when Emma Bailey showed the respectful behavior during the interview was on. In this scene, it showed the theory of behavioral theories of leadership, which agree that the success of leaders is based on their behavior rather than their natural attributes. Behavioral leadership theories involve observing and evaluating a leader's action and behaviors when they are responding to a specific situation. This is happened when May Holland gave her opinion about how to improve the circle system in the meetings. Alan Bradley, who is the founder of the company, has put his feet on the meeting desk while listening to May's idea. It showed that Anon Bailey do not have respect towards his employees as he put his feet on desk while the meeting was held. So here it will give the effect where the employees will keep showing the respectful behavior and backward attitude towards employees continues. This can significantly diminish office morale. So my recommendation is as the founders of the company, Emma Bailey should practice workplace ethics as well as respectful behavior against his employees and show a good example for his other employers.
In this next slide is Jared got 100% customer feedback. The theory in this scene is haptic communication. What is haptic communication? Haptic communication is a branch of nonverbal communication that refers to the ways in which people communicate and interact with the sense of touch. It can be seen from scene when Jared tells me that she will manage customer maintenance for small advertising. She needs to stay randomly to get customers and she will continue with them for continuously. Then Jared tried the work to show me how to do it and the process of her job. Then Jared high-fived me when he received 100% customer feedback. The effect from that action is it can create physical intimacy and bond. It will show the positive way in the building a new relationship at the workplace. My recommendation is we need to encourage the haptic communication, such as by using the hand gestures and express your feelings and convey to others how your feelings and communicate what you are feeling or thinking without using any words. Next is during the meeting, Annie did not wearing appropriate clothing and she looks very messy. We can see from the misapplying critical ring. The theory is about dress code that can be related to this scene, which is any do not follow the dress code that company has set for the employees. For example, any attend the meeting with the not suitable attire. The attire does not symbolize any word at work. The same effect is it can send the wrong message to the others because it may cause them to think Annie did not take her job seriously. The recommendation for this scene when we go to workplace or anywhere which needs us to wear properly or formal, we must wear attire that can make us looking neat and proper. Other than attire, keeping a tidy and clean workstation is also very important for our comfort while doing works. The last scene for this slide is Amy used bad language when she said, "This is such a bullshit," and left the meeting room while the meeting was on. In this scene involved theory social confrontational episode. Social confrontation is a particular kind of communication episode initiated when one actor signals another actor that his or her behavior has violated a rule of expectation for appropriate conduct within the relationship or situation. Annie suddenly dispute the idea of May when May respond to her dispute and then she just left the meeting without saying anything or asking for permission. She using foul language and her action also indicates that she has no respect for her superior and colleague. From there, we can know the effect of this scene, Annie fastly ending the conversation abruptly. The action of Annie can also lead to misunderstanding and judgment from her colleague. The recommendation that I can say, we must always respect each other in doing anything, whether at work or anywhere. This will also improve the productivity between other workers involved in any event or program. We go for the last slide, which is conclusion for this movie. I can tell you that for us, this movie is very interesting movie, which we can see the combination of two communication that is verbal and non-verbal that can enhance the effectiveness of the communication. The personality play an important role to make people feel confidence and trust to us in doing the job. Body language tells a lot about ourselves in doing something.